Hello, everyone. Tashina here, your favorite holistic business coach. And we are starting a little bit late, but sometimes life is like that. I have a friend that is moving out of town tomorrow morning. So I went to go to her little going away dinner and we got out a little bit late, but the replay is here for everyone. And I thank everyone that's here today and who will be available to listen to the replay because maybe they're here right on time and I wasn't here. But we are going to go through 7 tips to a more positive you. I hope that as you are listening to the replay that you pay great attention and even maybe pause it and take some notes. And then the things that are mentioned in these 7 tips, it would be amazing if you reviewed and did in full force 1 tip per day for the next 7 days. And I actually would recommend that you do it 3 times because we know they usually say it's about 21 days to create a new habit. So with that, let's dig right in. So tip number 1 is to identify negative thoughts and self-talk. So sometimes we don't even realize that we're living with a fixed mindset because it's just how we've always reacted. It's always how we viewed XYZ. But when this is negative and fixed mindset clouds our view, we are unable to discover opportunities and blessings that life is sending us. So the first task is awareness. As you can see this person here in the picture, they actually have a writing instrument and possibly a journal. And that is something that can really help you, making sure that you become aware. You won't be able to move forward in your efforts of achieving a more positive you without first identifying what needs to go. So stop and think about how you respond to difficult situations, circumstances you don't particularly enjoy. Grab a journal or notebook and write them down as they happen throughout the day. Perhaps your children make a mess in the bathroom or leave crumbs on the table. Write down how that makes you feel. Perhaps you walk past a mirror, you see your midsection is drooping over your pants. Perhaps a coworker gets the promotion you've been trying for. Write down exactly what thoughts cross your mind. Keep this journal with you and jot down your thoughts and reactions as you go about your day. And before bed, review them and see if you notice any patterns. So once we get this clarity, we're at the state of awareness, it's time for us to practice positive thinking. So we've taken inventory of how we generally react or respond to life annoyances. And we want to talk about how we can reverse that way of thinking. So now you're going to get out your journal or notebook. And again, this is tip number 2. And perhaps on day 2, you try this. And you're going to pick out a few phrases you caught yourself muttering. Write those down on a new page, but leave room for a rework. Perhaps you heard yourself say, there's no way this will work. So now we're going to take a moment and think, how can we turn this into a positive statement? Instead of saying there's no way this will work, we'd say something like, I love a good challenge and I'm going to approach this from a different angle. So we're just going to shift it. We know that there's still a problem to be solved. We know that there's a challenge, but we are telling ourselves that we have the resources to face it. Another example. Maybe you often mention to yourself as you walk past the mirror, I will never lose this weight. Who would love this? This is a punch to your inner self. So you want to stop this negative talk in its tracks. Instead, you can try something like, I can make small changes that will lead to healthy results. I am beautiful no matter what size I am. So again, on day 2, practice this exercise and challenge yourself to have a new perspective, attack those negative thoughts and take them captive. Release them only when they've submitted to positivity. So our tip number 3, or day 3 perhaps, is to start the day with gratitude and affirmations. Even when we're going through major things, we still have so many things to be thankful for. But We often overlook them or take them for granted when we feel overwhelmed. The soft bed that we sleep in is a blessing. The clothes that we have every day are blessings. The car that we drive is a blessing. The paycheck that we receive is a blessing. The air that we're breathing in is a blessing. See how the simple things in life, the ones that we're just considering part of life, really can be counted as blessings. We want to start the day off with a heart full of gratitude. This will make an enormous impact on our attitude and how we move throughout the day. Many studies have been done to show this. According to one study done by the University of California and Washington University, expressing gratitude increases joy, which is a distinct positive emotion. Joy, in turn, increases gratitude. That is an amazing cycle to be stuck in. You can also set your intentions for the day by repeating affirmations aloud. Start telling yourself the story you want to be part of. Use positive language. Speak truth over yourself. You can try something like, I will have a great day. I can choose my attitude. I'm confident in my abilities. I choose patience and peace. So one of the things that I actually do is I do regular mindfulness sessions on Twitter. I record them as audios and I put them in a podcast. So I would put that link in the recording of this video. And part of those mindfulness sessions, I do lots of different affirmations, and I have some to help with being overwhelmed, or just I have tons and tons of different topics. So you can definitely check those out if you need some tips on affirmations. So take a moment and jot down some things you are grateful for and some positive affirmations you would like to recite in the mornings. So for me personally, I actually have, I'm an audio learner. So I have affirmations, my goals, my Strength Finders power statement, which is one thing I work with individuals on, personality traits that I want to display recorded. So I listen to those just about every morning. While I was in recovery, there were some mornings I didn't listen to them just because they're very productive and action oriented, a lot of them, and I need to do a lot of rest instead. But I definitely have positive affirmations going. Of course, with other great things to start with the morning as well. Exercise, prayer, Bible reading as well. Day 4, or tip number 4, utilize aromatherapy to release negative emotions. Fragrances can have quite a powerful impact on your emotional state. As soon as you take a whiff, the airborne odor molecules travel up your nose to your olfactory receptors, which then relay the messages to other parts of the brain. Your sense of smell is the only one of 5 senses that is directly linked to your limbic lobe of the brain, the emotional control center. It literally is the fastest way for you to affect your emotions scientifically. You can use neuroscience in order to reprogram those emotions. And did you know? Sesquiterpenes can increase blood oxygen levels in the brain. And guess where those are found? You guessed it, essential oils. The stimulation of both aroma and oxygenation seems to affect the amygdala. That is the part of the brain that plays a major role in emotional processing. This stimulation, accompanied by mental focus and intent, actually facilitates the release of stored emotional blocks. How cool is that? So grab those oils, inhale, or diffuse them. Some of my favorite ones are Valor, frankincense, orange, bergamot, stress away, envision, and release. Find what works for you and use them consistently. And if you don't have a Young Living account yet, feel free to get with the person that shared this video with you. And if you happen to find it on your own, or I shared it with you, you can send me a private message so I can help you get the best deal possible and get connected to our community. Tip number 5, or something you can put as a goal for day number 5, invite in positivity through friends and humor. Take a few moments today to reflect on the things you surround yourself with: your friends, family, coworkers, music, TV, social media, podcasts, books, etc. Are they positive? There's an old saying, garbage in, garbage out. Same is true today. If you are surrounding yourself with negative influences, your inner thoughts and attitude will most certainly be negative. So be sure to do a clear assessment of what you're letting inside your mind. Some people have found things like reducing the amount of time that they spend watching the news or reading newspapers have had a tremendous effect on them. I personally don't watch TV at all. I don't watch the news at all, and I don't read newspapers. If things get bad enough, someone will notify me, and I will definitely get on Google and I will definitely look up specific things. It is important to know what's going on in the world. That's important to being a mature adult, but I don't seek out the negative information personally. Sift out the bad and start focusing on what positive influences you can begin implementing. For example, now that you're not watching as much of the news or reading as many newspapers, perhaps you can find a positive audiobook to listen to or read a book instead. Perhaps you can find an extremely positive podcast and replace some of that negative that was going in with lots of positive. If it comes to a toxic relationship, take steps that are required to set proper boundaries. If it's something toxic on social media or perhaps even gloomy, depressing music, change it, remove it, delete it. Do what it takes to set yourself up for success in this area. And foster positive relationships you do have. Play upbeat, uplifting tunes. Read books and listen to podcasts that inspire you, not give you nightmares. Watch comedy shows and laugh. It's good for the soul, friend. Bring in so much positivity that there's no room for negativity. So tip number 6, and something you can make sure that you check and try to implement on day 6, is do something good for your body and environment. Becoming a more positive you requires a change of the mind and the body. Your daily habits need to shift. Consider implementing exercise as a way to bring more positivity into your life. At work, in my day job, we have been having trainings from a neuroscientist, and his whole goal is actually to increase productivity. And he has a whole entire system where he can help organizations do this. And one of the major things that he says is it is very important to start with some type of physical activity in the morning. And it doesn't have to actually be a lot, but make sure that you move your body in the morning. And this is actually going to bring positivity into your life as well as help you be more productive. When you exercise, your body releases endorphins. These chemicals help suppress the hormones that cause stress and anxiety. They trigger a positive feeling in the body, similar to that of morphine, but without the dangerous possibility of overdosing or becoming addicted. While you're at it, start spreading positivity by doing something good for others and the environment. You can volunteer, start recycling, collect trash along roadsides, find ways to give back, and you'll be surprised at how uplifting it can be in return. Turn failures into lessons. So this is tip number 7 and something that you can try to implement on day number 7. You made it to day 7. Again, I really hope that you go through this, take notes on what you should do every day, and try to implement this for the next 3 weeks. You should start to feel a little more positive and in control of your thoughts and attitude by day 7. But again, to try to make these into habits, I definitely suggest doing it for 3 weeks, 3 times in a row. These tips obviously are not conclusive. There are many ways you can become a more positive you, but perhaps one of the most important lessons to take away from this 7-day process is to turn failures into lessons. You're not always going to get this positivity thing right, but you will be able to improve every single day. You will have off days, moments where you lose your cool, situations that put you in the funk. Don't let them derail you. Take what happened and learn from it. Figure out how to avoid those situations or how to handle them better. You can learn how to handle them more effectively the next time you encounter them. Break the cycle. Stay the course. Become the change you want to see. Now, we talked about how using essential oils are extremely helpful when it comes to resetting your emotions. The Aroma Reset technique is a technique. There's actually, under the umbrella of Aroma Freedom technique, there's a psychologist, Dr. Benjamin Perkis, that has lots and lots of different techniques. This one is the shortest, easiest one to do. And I recommend doing this at least 3 times a day to reset your emotions. Now, if you're going through some type of crisis, I would actually recommend doing it every time you feel your emotions going out of control. One of the other things that I mentioned at the very beginning is journaling. So for those of you that are watching the replay, I'm going to walk you through very, very quickly a little process that I do when I'm doing these sessions in lunch and learns with corporations or with some of my clients. So I'm going to actually pull up a little bit of relaxing music on YouTube right quick. And what I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper and a pen, or you can even just pull out your notes section on your phone. And I want you to actually journal for the next 90 seconds. There is a brain scientist that says if we allow ourselves to feel our emotions for 90 seconds, we'll be able to release them, because that's how long it takes in order to recognize them. If we're staying in those emotions for more than 90 seconds, it really is a choice. So instead of fighting those emotions, if we just actually allow ourselves to feel them, we can get some relief and move into the next set, doing something like the Aroma Reset to reset them. So if you have your pen and paper right now, or just pulling out your notes section, I want you to think of a very specific situation and write out a time that you felt overwhelmed, misunderstood, like you were not enough, or invisible. Pick just one specific situation and one specific emotion. And we're going to write on that as much as we can. Just let it flow. Let the emotions flow. Let the water leak out of the eyes if you need to, for just 90 seconds. Okay, and go. Alrighty, that's 90 seconds. Now we're actually going to move over to the aroma reset. So the traditional way to do this is to take a drop of lavender essential oil, frankincense essential oil, and stress away essential oil. One drop each, but you can choose any oil that you feel connected with at this time, especially if you may be feeling some type of overwhelm. You could choose something like release, or if you need some strength to overcome a situation, you could choose something like valor. So just simply choose an oil that you feel very resonant with at this time. I am actually just going to use stress away for myself right now because it's what I have right in front of me. So put the 3 drops in your hand or 1 drop, no matter what you're using, swirl it in a circle to activate it. And we're going to start with 3 deep breaths. So cupping your nose, your hands over your nose and mouth. You're going to breathe in through your nose. A long, deep breath out. Going to do that 2 more times. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, so now we're going to identify the situations, which you should have very clearly now because you just journaled that out. Think of a current situation that feels overwhelming, frustrating, or confusing, and get a clear picture of it in your mind so you can feel free to close your eyes. Now, name the feeling. Find one word that describes how you feel when you picture the situation. You could be feeling sad, angry, hopeless, fearful, etc. And again, because we just journaled, hopefully that you already have great clarity on that. Now locate this feeling in your body. Is it in your heart? Is it in your head? Is it in your belly? It could also be in your posture, such as slumping over or clenching your teeth. Now identify the negative thought, step 4, that's connected to that feeling. I feel hopeless. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I'm not smart enough, etc. Now we're going to smell the essential oils. Again, lavender, frankincense, and stress away, or whatever oil that you feel the most resonant right now. Inhale deeply while focusing on the situation, the feeling, and the bodily sensation, and the negative thought. So again, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We'll do this for a couple minutes. Again, breathing in, focusing on the situation, focusing on that negative feeling, focusing on where you're feeling it in your body, and focusing on that negative thought. Breathing into that spot in your body, allowing it to relax, allowing it to release. Breathing into that feeling, which we allowed ourselves to feel, but now we're using the aromas in order to process it and let it go. Breathing into that situation and breathing into that negative thought to release it. Notice what happens to your picture of the situation as you currently have your eyes closed and how you are feeling in your body and mind. I'm going to turn the music back on for just a little bit and continue with the deep breathing. All right. Hopefully, you are now feeling a little bit relaxed. And your next step is decide what to do next. Hopefully, something has shifted and you don't feel stuck, and you can get on with your day in a more relaxed, calm, and clear mood. But it may be that you need a longer session. And if you are interested in that, I know a lot of practitioners that can do a session that will last more like an hour to move things even more. And that is the end of today's presentation. Again, I thank everyone so much for joining us today and for all those that are going to listen to the replay. Greatly, greatly appreciate you. And again, reach out with any questions or concerns. Have an amazing day. Goodbye.